All right, welcome back to the Dungeon of Doom podcast. I am Ben Raven, joined by Corey Woods.
What up, though? What up, though?
We are coming to you for the first time since September after Lions lost. The Lions lose 48-42 today to Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills. The Lions are 12-2. Let's get some of the important stuff out of the way. The Eagles won today, so they are tied with the Lions at the top of the NFC, just like that. We talked about the cruel fate of the Lions to be on a franchise-best 11-game winning streak, to have absolutely no breathing room in the conference or the division, and that moment has arrived.
Yeah, I mean, this was a really tough loss. This was one that we expected. I believe we said if there's any silver lining, I'm pretty sure we'll get into it later on. The silver lining is that this was not a conference game they lost. So I guess if there were a game to lose down this stretch, this one would have been the one. But just the way that it went about, there are a lot of concerns with this team as we close out this season. And it was a tough one just from the start to the finish. And it's just wild.
No, it is. And I mean, for a defense that's already being put together with patchwork guys off the street and stuff like that, the last thing you want to hear is Aleem McNeil and Carlton Davis might be done for the season. You know, Dan Campbell did not say that outright, but he said, when I say I don't feel good about those guys, I'm talking about for the year. And that was about McNeil's knee. That was about Davis's jaw, which, ouch. Just brutal. And they lost Khalil Dorsey. He is officially out for the season. Nasty ankle injury. Avoid that replay. Campbell said it's a similar injury that Hutchinson suffered. So, thoughts out to Khalil Dorsey. That's a depth cornerback on this team. He handles a lot of kick returns. He was seeing action with Davis out, and now with Davis and McNeil out for the season, that's the cornerback who Pro Football Focus considered the best cornerback in the league since like week 7 or 8. And McNeil is a franchise pillar here, man, fresh off a massive contract extension.
And with that McNeil injury, just as soon as it happened, you saw his frustration immediately on the field. He was just, if he could have took off his helmet and slammed it, it looked like he would have. He was just, going through all the motions, swinging in air, and it just didn't look good as soon as it happened. Not the Dorsey one. We already know Dorsey's done. But when they said Davis had the concussion and then the broken jaw, I'm like, what kind of hit did he take? I got to go back and look at it. But it's just, at some point, we've been talking about the great job that Aaron Glenn has done patching up this defense, but now you're starting to wonder, okay, Khalil Dorsey's out now for the season. You're fearing that Mac and then Davis might be out. You're just wondering at some point, when is it going to catch up with this team? And you're losing a lot of guys.
Yeah, and they had some reinforcements back today, but Nowaski was out. He was second on the team in linebacker snaps last week, so that was just like another hole to fill. Just unbelievable. We knew what the Lions had to avoid in this game, and they fell into that trap with the Bills getting a 14-point lead, scoring 3 touchdowns on their first 3 drives. It's one of those, like, I'd love to sit here and just crap all over Detroit's defense, and they deserve some of that for sure. But what you saw today was an MVP unicorn of a quarterback playing lights out football for the second straight week. He had 6 total touchdowns last week. He had 4 total touchdowns today, another 362 passing yards, another 68 yards on the ground. And Josh Allen, man, we talk about mobile quarterbacks beating this defense in recent years and stuff like that. I don't even think you can put Allen in that bucket, because he's a stampeding Buffalo who has the ability to throw it as far as he wants, as accurate as he wants, while running at the line of scrimmage at a full barrel down, gonna smash you speed.
We knew that he was good. That was that was a given. Just seeing this guy up close and personal, it's just something different. It's just like, I know this is a Lions podcast. We have to talk about the Lions, but when you see a guy just be able to, okay, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and just scramble 15, 20 yards right through the heart of your defense. Or you know what? I'm going to get outside the pocket and, scramble for another 10 yards. You know what? I'm going to get outside the pocket and I'm going to flick it 30, 40 yards off my back. Like,
I know.
He did some stuff that really looked video game-esque. And really, whether you're a good defense or a patched up defense, sometimes you just got to just look and be like, hey, what do you want me to do, coach? He just had one of those performances that, right now he's the odds on MVP coming into this game. I believe this is the game that pretty much wrapped it up for him. Like, he probably has to fall off a cliff and then some. But again, just not to harp on that. Just it was a dominant game by Allen, something that we expected, and you were already asking a lot out of this defense against some of the quarterbacks they played coming into this game. Now just to be able to slow that guy down, it was a tall task, and it was kind of predictable.
You took the words out of my mouth, because he literally played like I used to play my quarterbacks on video games, man. You escape a sack, you run to the line of scrimmage at the corner of the field, and you just wait for someone to leak across the middle, and you let it rip. Unbelievable. Ty Johnson. Yes, Ty Johnson, former Detroit Lions draft pick, who had 109 receiving yards across 18 games and 2 seasons with the Lions, had 111 yards receiving today.
On 5 catches, right?
On 5 of 5 catches. What he was doing, I mean, it was genius. I mean, it was literally Allen breaks a sack, got free from DJ Reader a couple times, notably today, got free from McNeil, I think, on the play where McNeil got hurt too. And just the quarterback buys enough time, and the running back just leaks downfield. I mean, when you aren't able to corral Allen, your defensive linemen and your linebackers and your defensive backfield, I mean, they're trying to hang on for dear life. And then you see this guy running full speed at the line of scrimmage, and you start to leave your guy for a second to go to the line of scrimmage, and you're screwed. You're dead. And it's just, the Bills opened the game with 2 touchdown drives, 7 plays, 73 yards, 9 plays, 78 yards, and the Lions are in a 14-0 hole against a freaking unicorn. And they go, I think, 3 and out, and then punt, right? So, I mean, just...
And then on top of that, when Allen's not doing what he's doing, you have James Cook to account for. I mean, this is back-to-back weeks now that the Lions have allowed a 100-yard rusher. He had, I think it was 14 carries for 102 yards, 2 touchdowns.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just solid performance by him as well. So it's some concerns right now with what's going to happen with that defense. They're going to have to call in some reinforcements, probably poach some guys off somebody's practice squad again this week. But just, I just don't know where they're going to go with this one, heading into Chicago.
I don't either. I don't either. I mean, on a day where you give up the most points you've surrendered all year, second straight week they've given up a new season high total in points, give up 559 total yards of offense, another season high there. And you lose a veteran starting cornerback, and you lose a stud cornerstone pillar defensive lineman, and then you lose a depth cornerback on top of that. And Emmanuel Mosley was another healthy scratch today. I don't know the read on that, but like, if you're asking me what I'm most concerned about, it's the secondary depth. Yeah. Carlton Davis was the piece holding that together. Through Terrion Arnold's rookie bumps and bruises and growth and solid spots here along the way, Davis was the guy holding things down. He missed a game with a knee injury a couple weeks ago. He's playing with a broken thumb, and now he's got a freaking broken jaw. That I don't know if that's confirmed or not, but when you're ruled out with a jaw injury and you're going to miss the season with a jaw injury, I'm going to guess that thing's broken. Yeah. So, and that's kind of what I was hearing after the game from people. And they're running out of options.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what's happening right now. I mean, yes, the defense needed to be better. Yes, everything let each other down today. When the offense started the game with a turd, then the defense never really found its footing at all after that. And I mean, you just couldn't miss opportunities, and you couldn't leave the door open for the Bills to run through it, because if you were going to get a shootout with this team, you were going to be playing from behind all day. And that's exactly what happened.
And I think one thing that really hurt them throughout this game is, like you said, they didn't capitalize on opportunities. When Tyler Bass missed that field goal, that was the perfect time.
A 24-yard field goal.
Which was shocking to me. I was like, he missed it?
Yeah, exactly.
It was hard to see from my view, but when they did not capitalize on that and they didn't walk away with any points off of that, okay, this might be it. And I hate to be right. I hate that I was right, but
no, you were. Yeah.
It was just you can't when you have a team like that is just rolling, getting up and down the field with ease. I mean, it was just too easy.
It was.
You got to be able to go ahead and get some points somewhere, and they just failed to do so. I don't know what was going on with Montgomery in the first half. I mean, that was shockingly odd the usage there, but I mean, yeah.
No. I mean, the rushing attack did nothing on those first 2 drives, and all of a sudden they're in a 14-0 hole, and you got to go away from the rushing attack because you're trying to keep up with Josh Allen and the Bills. The Lions ran 15 times today. Montgomery had more carries than yards. Gibbs was the leading rusher with, I think, 31 yards on 8 carries. Jared Goff was the team's second leading rusher today.
Wow.
That's a bad day.
Yeah.
15 carries. Goff, we haven't even mentioned this because the defense deserves some talk, but Jared Goff and the Lions made some unfortunate history today. First quarterback in NFL history to lose a game when you throw for more than 400 yards, have 5 touchdowns, and no interceptions. So, I mean, that's what I'm talking about. You don't score on those first 2 drives, but the Bills score touchdowns on their first 3 drives. The offense played freaking lights out. I know they were adding points when this game was, I mean, shoot, I don't even want to say it was out of reach. We were a freaking onside kick at the end away from the Lions getting one last shot to win the game with a Hail Mary. But, like, the Lions go 5 of 5 in the red zone. They put up 42 points. Goff throws for 494 yards. Both St. Brown and Laporta have 100-yard days. But the ground game struggles early. Mm-hmm. You get away from script. You get away from what you do. You're forced to play a way you don't want to play because I'll just say it right here, right now. If Jared Goff attempts 59 passes,
you're not winning.
They're not winning. That's not how they want to play. That's not how they ever want to play. So just, yes, the rushing attack was bad when they had their chances. But, man, they had to go away from it.
Now, you pointed out that historic stat with Goff and the 5 touchdowns. Adam Schefter said something that was really interesting. The Lions lost a game where Goff threw for 5 touchdowns, but won a game where Goff threw 5 interceptions. It's you can't script that.
That's unbelievable. It is because, like, gosh, but no, it's, man, Josh Allen in the Bills. I mean, it just.
And this is the thing. I've seen some Lions fans saying that the Bills defense was suspect and the Lions were going to go ahead and run over them. I didn't fully agree with that.
Yeah.
But I kept saying this over and over to anybody who asked me. The Lions have the number 1 scoring offense.
Mm-hmm.
The Bills are number 2.
Yeah.
It was going to be a shootout. It was going to be, and the thing is, you do not want to trade shots with a guy like Josh Allen because, like you said, we both said the Lions they have trouble stopping mobile quarterbacks, but Josh Allen right now is playing some type of unicorn-esque football. So, I mean, more power to this guy. He's having a career year where you just, like, he's had more touchdowns than other seasons, but when you look at his touchdown to interception ratio, it's a career year.
Yeah, he's not turning the ball over. He's not getting sacked. And I was curious coming into this game, like, is Buffalo's offensive line really that much better? No, it's Josh Allen. Like, DJ Reader couldn't get that man to the ground. And Liam McNeil couldn't get him to the ground. He took a massive shot from Jack Campbell early in the game and, like, smiled and got up like it was nothing, doing his best Tucker Kraft impersonation. It's just like, what is this guy? I tweeted, test this guy for alien DNA.
Oh, he wasn't. Hey, so you guys know I covered the the opposing locker room.
Yeah.
This guy is just sitting in his locker room, just chilling, checking text messages. I don't know, looking on Twitter. He looked like he's in all smiles. Didn't even look like he had a real hard day at work, even though we know he did.
Yeah, for sure.
It just, you gotta, if you watched Black Panther, he took some vibranium or something today.
Yeah, exactly. No, so that's pretty much it about Detroit's defense. I mean, it was shorthanded coming to this game. You faced an MVP quarterback, and he played like an MVP quarterback and beat the ever-loving crap out of you from start to finish. And what else is there to say? I mean, it was a banged-up defense, and the cracks finally caught up with them. I mean, I will say that. I mean, the linebackers in the secondary, I mean, you're losing pieces left and right. you know what's vital to stopping a guy like Allen is communication
Yeah.
and knowing where you're supposed to be in those tough moments. And I mean, we were just talking about last week, like I'm trying to find the starters. I mean, yeah, you got Quan Alexander and Jamal Adams starting for the Lions defense. These guys don't know the whole playbook yet. Like they're like, so when you put them in situations like when Allen's running at the line of scrimmage and all of a sudden you're trying to make the decision to break coverage or come down to the line or not or whatever, like that's where you saw it go so bad because these guys are. This is where it caught up with them because these new pieces are playing a ton of snaps. Yeah. And they just got put into a spin cycle.
Yeah, losing Aiden Hutchinson early was one thing. It's like, okay, you got to go ahead and replace a guy like that, bring in Zadarius Smith. But when you start losing other key starters, it's like this 11-game win streak over these past couple of weeks, the Lions have been playing with house money. Yeah. And today it just caught up with them against, again, the second highest scoring offense in the NFL. And it's like, again, you're asking a lot of the defense. Yes, they deserve to be criticized, but you're also asking a lot of guys that that do not know the playbook. I mean, guys that have only been here for like 2 weeks. Amik Robertson said it after last week's win over the Packers that they were just simple. They had to really, really simplify some of the calls because guys didn't know what to do.
Yeah, and that was against a good Packers team, and they were able to hang on in that one. This is just, I mean, this is just a perennial Super Bowl contender with a unicorn quarterback. And I mean, that's really all we can say on the defense is like it caught up with them. Like the more these pieces work together, the better they'll get. But like when you lose McNeil and Davis, like, man, they're going to have to bring in even more.
And I don't know where they turn for that because, I mean, replacing those two guys is, well, first off, you can't replace those two guys. No. You just have to go get some bodies to put in their place. But there's no replacing in the Liam McNeil. There's no replacing what Carlton Davis brings. So it's...
Yeah, the personnel department, I mean, I forget what assistant coach made a joke about it this week, but they're like, we're running out of guys to like bring in off the street. Like, so that was a joking comment earlier this week, but that's a very real reality moving forward.
I mean, I'm not going to make any suggestions.
No.
You might have to just start making some calls. The guy like, hey, what are you doing?
Seriously. But that's flipped to the offense because I know the offense stuffed the box score, gave the Lions a chance in the end. But honestly, this offense put the defense in a hole and put way too much pressure on that defense early in this game, falling in a 21-7 hole, falling in a 14-0 hole. Goff getting sacked twice on the first couple of drives, the rushing attack doing nothing. I mean, they needed the offense to be firing on all cylinders from start to finish because you saw what they're capable of.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a great offense. Ben Johnson was in his bag again today. Dan Skipper freaking scored a touchdown.
Yeah,
we don't get to talk about it.
That was wild.
Just like, picture perfect design to Dan Skipper for a touchdown. Goff was playing great, man, because that Tim Patrick touchdown, he escaped a sack or two, got to the sideline, extended the play. Gosh, just
Goff played so well that if the Lions had won this game, this could have put him not at the top of the MVP discussions, but at least back into the mix.
For sure. I mean, that's why you hear me tripping over myself so much, because I'm like, outside of the first two drives, the offense was on.
It's just something I didn't know what it was. Yeah. It was just odd they could not just get off the blocks with the run game, and that's their strongest. That's their strongest thing. Their run game, establishing that really sets up everything else as far as the pass game and having their offense working. And you see right now, the Bills that Sean McDermott said that was one of their key focuses, just stifling that run game, and they were successful at it.
Yeah, like I said, just letting the Bills. I mean, the 3-and-out, the punt on the second drive, and then you open the second half with a 3-and-out after the Bills had just gone up. After James Cook literally has his hair pulled out and still scores a touchdown.
That was wild.
I mean, you see his head go back.
He just
41-yard touchdown to open the second half of the score, and all of a sudden the Lions went from a 21-14 game to 28-14, and then they answer with a 3-and-out. And I mean, that I know they fought back. I know they had some chances, but like that really kind of let you know how this day was going to go, I felt like.
Yeah, it was just bad off the gate. It was just a bad omen off the gate. I don't know where they are. I believe they'll be fine, coming next week and down the stretch, but just when you're talking about this team having a Super Bowl run, I don't know how they have that run with a patched up defense. I just think right now there's just too many holes to fill. We'll find out more about Mac and Davis tomorrow. Like you said, Dan Campbell said that it's not looking too good for them, but
yeah, it's not. And you hit the nail on the head. McNeil knew something was wrong, and it's just, and that's really what it's about. Is like they couldn't afford to lose anything else.
Yeah, they just lost the game. That would be one thing, but losing the game and potentially losing two key starters at this stretch, that's the scary part.
No, and it's like I'd feel a lot more confident if I knew Emmanuel Moseley was even going to be able to play a role in that.
Which is weird because these past couple of weeks, you hear that he's trending the right way. You see him at practice, and then come game time, scratched.
Yeah.
So I don't know what's going on there. Maybe that's something we got to ask, Campbell about, because it's just weird seeing this guy practicing. Doesn't look like he have any limitations. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a trainer, but you see him at practice going through the warm-ups and whatnot. You hear he's doing well, and then come game time, he's not touching the field.
Yeah, made his debut in Indy, played special teams, and then Davis got hurt and missed the next week's game, and we were thinking, oh, Mosley's going to get a chance. Like, even if he doesn't start, he's going to be in the rotation. Had a pregame something. The team, kind of tried not to call it an injury, but a pregame setback, and he's been a healthy scratch. Or he was inactive that game and then a healthy scratch 2 straight weeks, and it's just they need him. They need something.
They definitely need him now.
Because it's Kindle Vildor back in there at the starting lineup again. I know Lions fans have nightmares when they hear that name.
Yeah.
I'll try and sugarcoat it for you a little. Like, he knows the system. He knows the scheme. He plays the way AG likes. But, man, when you're talking about going from Carlton Davis and a rookie to a rookie in Kindle Vildor, you find yourself in a lot of the same problems you did last year.
Yeah.
And we're talking about a Super Bowl contender. We're talking about a team that has the highest of high aspirations. And if this were just a loss, even if it was 48-42, even if it happened the exact same way it happened, I would not be sweating this team as a Super Bowl contender. But the fact that you are losing more depth, 2 more starters, I don't know where they go, how they go from here. At least the defensive line has Reeder, Anzarike, and Pascal back, and Smith in the fold too. But McNeil is such a key part of that. And Davis is an every snap leader. Davis is so important from Terrion Arnold. Davis is one of those pieces that makes it all come together. And not having him out there is a major, major blow for this defense. And I'm not waving the white flag yet, but there's no addition off the street that makes me feel different.
Oh yeah. It's only so many guys from practice squads that you can poach. You were able to get Quan Alexander, Jamal Adams was out there, but
they need some of these linebackers back, man. They need Anzalone back, and that he might not be back until the playoffs. Reeves Maben, slow developing. Derek Barnes kind of has a Hutchinson situation where they refuse to rule him out all the way, but it's probably not. And then Malcolm Rodriguez is done for the year. And then you got Nowaski, who should be back next week, but not having him today, you're at the point, and this is with all due respect to Trevor Nowaski. They had to claim him. They brought him back. They were thrilled by him. They've been thrilled by his growth. He has played great for what his role is to be. But when we're talking about, holy crap, now they've lost Nowaski, that's how bad it is on this defense. You are 6. It's just Quan Alexander and Jamal Adams are starting for this defense. They were already starting for this defense.
Guys that just got here, it's maddening. It's maddening. Just we know this is a violent sport and guys get injured, but I don't recall a team getting decimated like this.
If these 3 get put on injured reserve, that's 16 defensive players on injured reserve. I think there's no other team with more than 7.
Yeah.
What the hell? That's why we're having a tough time with this one, because it's we're judging such a Band-Aid duct tape defense already, and now they lose 2 starters, and then the guy who was going to compete with Vildor to start at the other spot with Davis out, and he's gone now too. And it's just the Lions, they score 42 points, 551 yards of offense. Jared Goff has 494 yards. He has 2 pass catchers over 100 yards. St. Brown and Laporta were at their best today, outside of St. Brown's lost fumble. But then the man, he scores a 66-yard touchdown in the next drive, so he does everything to make up for it. But it's just, they left the door open for the Bills, and the Bills ran through that door in the first quarter.
Steamroll.
Like, the Lions fought back. Give them credit for fighting back. Give them credit for making this a game. But, like, it never felt like they were honestly, even when it was 7 points at halftime, did not feel like they were.
Yeah, it just felt like they were just going to be playing coming from behind the whole entire game. It didn't feel like there was at one point they could do anything to slow down Josh Allen and that offense. And I mean, right now when you look at this team, I don't know where they go. I don't know if the what they say the Cinderella moment is going to run out at some point or not. But it's just like, I don't know how far they could continue to go with the patched up defense. It's just not to me, it's just not a recipe for a Super Bowl team. I mean, the offense is dynamic. Thankfully for them, all of those pieces, pretty much everybody's healthy for the most part. But when you look at this defense, I just don't see how far they go up against some of these dynamic quarterbacks once the playoffs hit and you having guys that are just, you have a makeshift defense.
No, man, I mean, what game do you think Jalen Hurts and the Eagles are going to study if they face the Lions in the playoffs? I mean, it's going to be, let's get you out of the pocket. Let's confuse this defense and let's take shots downfield once you have them confused. I mean, I know that's easier said than done or whatever, but like, man, if you get out of the pocket and you get this defense asking questions, this is all due respect. That's how you're going to beat this team, because it's so many new faces. It's so many guys that weren't in starting roles that are now in starting roles. And like, there just aren't enough reinforcements on the way right now. So it sucks to be talking about injuries for a 12-2 Lions team. They're fighting for their lives. We'll see what happens tomorrow night with Minnesota, but we could have a 3-way tie at the top of the NFC by tomorrow night. And that's just a cruel twist of fate. Franchise record, 11-game win streak, had a chance to set a team record for most wins in a season. The next win, it makes this the best. If the Lions win another game, these next 3, it's their best regular season of all time. So, like, I guess right side glass half full, look at it that way. But like, this is a team that expects to win the Super Bowl. This is a team that expects to make the Super Bowl, and that path forward gets a hell of a lot harder than it was going to be. And
they cannot drop a game in these next couple.
And at all. We'll just get out of here. Quick words on the onside kick. The one with 12 minutes left. Lions cut it to 10 points. They kick an onside kick. Mac Hollins turns it to the 3-yard line, and they score on the first play of the drive to go up 17. Dan Campbell said he just was like, we just thought we were going to get that kick. We thought we were going to recover it. We wanted to give our offense another chance. And to be honest with you, with the way the defense was playing, it was a little aggressive for my personal liking with 12 minutes left. And in hindsight, Dan's like, of course, I wish I could pull it back if I knew Hollins was going to take it to the house. But like, with the way their defense was playing and with the way their offense was playing, if they could have deleted a possession without Allen touching the ball, score some points, that's what they were going for.
Yeah, that's I mean,
it's a shoulder shrug, who cares moment for me.
Yeah, I felt that it was a super aggressive call. I felt that they should not have gone for it right there.
Yeah.
But at the same time, that's not what lost them the game.
No.
What lost them the game was they just ran into the Bills came into a hornet's nest and just shook it and said, we don't care.
Yeah, exactly.
That's just really what it came down to. And you understood it. Again, like you said, we said it's a patched up defense. They were trying to steal a possession, and
Goff in the passing game were cooking. So why not delete a possession, get them the ball back? Like, I get it. It sucks you have to declare you're kicking an onside kick, and there's no surprise.
I do not like.
I think that's something the competition committee should look at. I know Dave Phipp don't want on the competition committee, but I think he should get his butt on there.
Yeah.
And then, 48-42, the officials took for frickin' ever to say who got that final onside kick recovery.
That would have. I was looking like, wait a minute, did they get it?
So, yeah. So as bad as it was, as sucky as this loss was, as bad as the defense was, the Lions were still a bounce away from having the ball with 10 seconds left at midfield, down by 6 points. And that's pretty impressive. That's some fight.
Yeah.
It was a terrible showing for the defense. I am not trying to sugarcoat anything, but I'm just like, grand scheme of things, holy crap, they still had a chance. A small chance, but
a small chance. But I guess the one thing you can still take away from this team is that positive takeaway is that no matter what, they fight until it's 0-0-0.
Yep.
And I mean, really, that's all you can really ask for from a team with this. Again, no disrespect to the defense, but a defense that has not really played together.
No, I mean, hey, Lions are 12-12 or 12-2. Excuse me, Lions are 12-2. They are clinched for the playoffs. They're trying to get that 1 seed. They're trying to get the North title repeat. But it's going to be tough moving forward. I will just leave you with this: Dan Campbell is the perfect head coach for this team, for this moment. They still have one of, if not the best offensive football. I will say probably the second best offense in football after watching the Bills today. But like, this team's not dead.
No.
But they are definitely limping a lot more than any contender usually is this time of year.
Yeah, they definitely need to find a way to close out this season winning all those games, because I believe with the way that the Eagles are rolling and you still got Minnesota to deal with. I mean, if like I said, if there was a game to drop, it's this one. These next couple, you gotta be as lights out as possible, because I believe if the Lions still view themselves as a Super Bowl team, they have to make teams come through Ford Field. Otherwise, I have no idea.
12-2 Lions are at Chicago next week, then at San Francisco, and then back home against the Vikings. The Vikings play tomorrow night. Probably today when you listen to this on Monday Night Football. We'll see what happens there. But this has been Ben Raven and Corey Woods. MLive.com/Lions. Check out our Subtext Insider texting service to get those questions in for the next Mailbag podcast. And hang in there, guys. You know, I know it's tough. The injuries suck, but like, this is still the best Lions team of my lifetime and yours. And they still have the right head coach and general manager at the helm. So don't fall asleep on them yet. I know it's tough. I know it's tough to feel good after this one. I know it's tough to see the light after the injuries, but like, they deserve your trust. They deserve your trust. They deserve your love. This is still one of the best NFL teams around, but they've got a lot to fight through, man.
Hey, just see it through the end. I mean, it's still a lot of football love. Just see where it goes. We know they're going to the playoffs, so just see it to the end, and we'll see what happens.
All right.